A spicy Deion Sanders coming out and spitting out of the corner, saying that the Athletic is on that bull junk. But it's not offside to ask him about his health when he hadn't been around for the majority of the summer. It's okay, Deion. It's all right for those people to ask those questions. And then he would go on to talk about what is kind of the prevailing conversation around college football right now as we welcome you into the morning sprint. Coach Sanford, KJ Granderson is behind the glass. Alex Ryan with you guys here until noon. Join us at 303-504-0925 on the Shop Mazda text line. One price, one person, and 1 hour. The prevailing conversation going into this year with all of the crazy spending going around the top programs. He would go on to say, and I quote, "I wish there was a cap. The top of the line player makes this, and if you're not that type of guy, you know you're not going to make that." That's what the NFL does. So the problem is you got a guy that's not that darn good, but he could go to another school. They give him $500,000 more, and you can't compete with that. It doesn't make any sense. All you have to do is look at the playoffs and what those teams spend. It's kind of hard to compete with somebody who's given $25 to $30 million to a freshman class. It's crazy. It's pay to win.
We know exactly what it is, though, do we not? That this is the invisible hand, right? Laissez-faire economics. This is capitalism at its finest,
It
baby.
It sure is.
I mean,
its own little crystal ball ecosystem.
And there is a reality for the Colorado Buffaloes. They don't have mega booster like Texas Tech does that pays $2 million for a softball pitcher.
Let's say the quiet part out loud. What's that reality actually mean? It means that Deion's time here at Colorado is very, very numbered unless you find a way to compete with $25 and $30 million freshman classes, unless you find a way to put a true cap system in or go to collective bargaining.
Now, here's the thing.
And make players employees.
Here's what I think. I do think there's a path forward for Coach Prime.
Oh, dude, I think those words are, unless we pay that money, or unless there's a cap where it enforces that Alabama and Ohio State and Michigan and all these schools can't spend more than me. I'm gone.
We're talking orthodox CU football in its traditional sense, in its traditional form, with a lack of a T. Boone Pickens, with a lack of a Phil Knight, with a lack of whatever the heck the billionaire's name is that just hangs out and shows up to Big 12 Media Day representing Texas Tech, and he's now just a spokesperson for college athletics, even though he's really the problem with college athletics. But I think there's a path forward for, if you're a CU Buff fan and you want to say, you know what, I'm tired of this pipsqueak Alex Ryan telling me that the numbers or the days are numbered for Coach Prime at CU.
Just listen to what he says.
But here's the path forward. If Coach Prime chooses to accept it. What's different about CU football right now than it's ever been? Who could potentially be the human being that could galvanize a massive media financial cash cow that could fund $25 to $30 million in the roster? It's Coach Prime himself.
I mean, it's still that is a whole bunch to have on your back as Deion Sanders when it's not on the back of Ryan Day. It's not. But
Ryan Day's calling ball plays,
right?
Or has at least throughout his career.
But the pressure for him to bring in the money, the pressure for him to bring in the money, the pressure for him to bring in the media attention that would then bring in the money, that doesn't exist for Ryan Day.
Sign deals with massive media outlets. Sign mega deals that go directly, not to your coffers, but to the coffers of the CU NIL world. It's a possible way.
I'm not saying it's not it's very possible, but you're now asking a guy to take on more responsibility.
You're not a play caller. You're not doing in-home recruiting visits. Am I right? Has this been documented? So you're the CEO head coach, correct? Am I right in saying that?
Sure.
What else are you doing?
Making Colorado relevant, even though they're the 55th best team in the country this year still. But he's doing it.
He's already done that just by virtue of just being the head coach with the name recognition of Coach Prime.
How do you think it goes over for the powers that be at Colorado to bring Deion into a room and go, you're not doing enough?
I'm not talking about
that. You're not doing enough.
That's
the reason why we can't compete with Ohio State and Texas and Michigan because we don't have the money to do it, but you're not doing enough, Deion Sanders, to bring in the more money.
They can't.
How does that conversation go?
They can't do that.
That's where we're going right now. That's the road that you're putting me on.
But what I'm telling you is that the Hail Mary that was thrown after the 1-11 season that I was a part of was Coach Prime in and of himself. He himself is the name. Yeah. He himself is the image. He himself is the likeness that puts Colorado even somewhere on the map and, frankly, very largely on the college football map over the last 2 years. But now we can't fund it to compete at the highest level. There's only one human being, only one component of Colorado football that in and of itself could galvanize and bring together, I think it's the media world that could fund the NIL at a $25 to $50 million clip. You got to sell your soul even further.
How much does the allure of Deion Sanders and all the bright lights on you, even if you're not a college football finalist, right? How much does that allure bring players here? And more importantly, in this world of transferring without any penalty, keep players in Colorado. I mean, there's a reason why, like, he brought 2 quarterbacks to media day, both Caden Salter and Juju. Juju was the only one who was made available to the media, and there's a reason for that, right? Juju's the one who's talking. He's the one who's available and out there.
That's weird. That's unique.
The reason why you're doing that.
What did Caden Salter do? Just hang out?
He's there. The reason why you're doing that is because, well, if Caden starts, I can't afford to lose a highly ranked quarterback recruit like Juju because he doesn't feel the love. Right? But
are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? With the potential of what Coach Prime could do with his own name, image, and likeness.
Oh, no, I totally get it.
And with his reach from a media perspective to sign very unique deals.
I totally get it.
That really, frankly, Alabama couldn't sign. Georgia
they don't need to. They don't need to.
You're right about that, too. But I don't know if they could because it's not as intriguing from a media standpoint as doing something that intimately gets you behind the scenes of Coach Prime. The Coach Prime documentary with Netflix. To me, massive failure.
Yeah, like a Ryan Day. Oh, massive failure.
Dude, it was like 4 episodes. It was like all in on the first, like the offseason and the first 3 games. And it was like, oh, yeah, the next 9 games happened. It all happened in 1 episode. I'm like, what was that? You could go all in and you could sign some deals that frankly have never been seen in sport. Maybe outside of an NFL TV deal, because that's how much interest there is. He's still the human being right now in sports that he doesn't open his mouth for how many months has it been? 3?
He's kind
4?
of been MIA.
But then guess what happens?
Everyone's talking about him.
The minute he opens his mouth, everybody's talking about it.
I get that.
And you mean to tell me that CU as a football program can't compete financially with that guy as the person that is waiting there to open up his mouth? He opens his mouth and the entire sports world's talking about it the next day. Here we are. The financial opportunity is there to capitalize on it. But there's only one person that can make that decision. It ain't Rick George. It ain't Phil DiStefano, who I know is out as the chancellor. He's retired. Whatever the next situation is. It's Coach Prime, and it's galvanizing all of the major media types to bring them together and say, who's got the biggest deal for us? And that's going to fund my roster. And oh, by the way, we're going to be the best team in college football. And he could do it. And that's the only place that you could do it is Deion Sanders.
He is very unique, right? In his build, in that let's call Colorado a have-not. Is that okay? Am I going to piss too many of you people up there in Boulder, or all of you people who either played in the 90s or went to school there in the 90s, in the late 80s, in the heyday of CU football? Am I going to piss you off when I say that Colorado, when it comes to Ohio State, Alabama, Michigan, hell, any SEC program, they are, by comparison, a have-not. They are. It's unfortunate. That is the world that we live in right now in college football. What's amazing about Deion is that he is the singular person, the singular guy, and this is where you are 100% right, that can take a have-not program and make it something sustainable.
He's already made it relevant. But the next piece is sustainable, and then it's competitive at the highest level.
But you have to guarantee that he's here for the long term. And when he finishes that comment of, and again, I'll quote, the team that pays the most is going to win, and then he stopped. It makes me feel like he's asking. He's going, help me out here. How much more is he willing to do if the university isn't able to pony up that 25 to 30 million for a freshman class? How much more is Deion willing to go, all right, I'm going to put more on my back as I'm getting older. And I know he sounded like he was back into a corner when we started off from the clip from The Athletic. He's getting older. His health ain't getting better.
Yeah.
I know he says he feels, but you don't answer that question like that defensively, that quickly, with that much venom, you're not getting healthier.
There's no rules in college football. And anybody who thinks that this new cap is coming is stupid, because it's going to have a lot of issues in the court. It's not going to hold up in the court of law. It's not. It's not. You open up Pandora's box, you're never going to put it back in there.
You have to go to a CBA.
There are no rules,
there has
though, man.
To be collective bargaining.
There aren't going to be rules. College football's off the rails. Okay, so I think that's advantage Colorado. And the only thing I wonder is why. Why would Coach Prime not completely lean into who he has the opportunity to be, which is, I am going to sell this program. I'm going to put it on the open market for you to use however you want it, and you're going to fund this roster.
I want him to be here. I do.
Is it Amazon? Is it NBC? Is it Barstool Sports? Somebody's willing to pay $75 million 3-year contract.
No, you needed Phil Anschutz to not be a Kansas Jayhawk. I know he spent a lot of money here in the state, but he needed to be a Buff, not a Jayhawk. That's your Phil Knight. That's your guy.
It really is.
Although he's more of a, academic philanthropic.
Well, if there is somebody out there that's like being secretive about your billions,
yeah, if you have all the money and you're a CU person, you're not helping him out.
Answer the call.
What's going on?
So that Coach Prime doesn't have to sell himself in the program to the media world to say,
Portnoy's doing it. I'm sure there's one of you out there that graduated from CU that's got a couple of sheets.
It's got to be the Croc guy. Guy who owns Crocs.
You believe now?
He's a Boulder guy.
He's a Boulder guy?
For sure.
The dude who owns OtterBox is a CSU guy, I think. Either that or they're in Fort Collins. I don't think Crocs and OtterBox phone cases can compete with,
oil.
With what T. Boone Pickens got cooking underneath the crust.
Or oil.
Or oil, as it said. I don't know, man. I don't want to be that rain cloud, that negative Nelly, that every time he opens up his voice, I go, it just feels like it's another Jordan. But
I have the solution. I have the perfect solution. The guy that's out there.
What's that?
That would do anything for attention. That would do anything to get in front of the masses. And right now, he's kind of a little bit of a man without a country. Elon Musk. You have the ability to buy CU football. God. Am I right?
Does Elon Musk even know what football is?
I don't think he cares. He just wants to be in the headlines.
Could you imagine Elon Musk trying to throw a football?
He could launch his third political party right here in Boulder, Colorado, and fund the CU Buffs all the way to a national title.
Sure. Sign me up. Anything that gets me into the college football playoff.
Would you take it, Colorado?